They say the land of the Nile holds secrets older than time itself. In the heart of northern Uganda, a powerful clan thrived on a land so fertile that even the air smelled of life. Blessed by the mighty Nile River, this paradise teemed with wildlife, its rich soil nurturing endless fields of crops. An old man and his family lived here, their livestock grazing freely, their harvests abundant, all sustained by the steady, eternal flow of the Nile's blue waters. The old man lived peacefully alongside his two sons, Labongo and Gipir, in this newfound paradise. They had migrated from a distant land known as Bahel Gazel, settling here to raise their families and ensure the prosperity of their people. As time passed, the family's happiness was clouded by the old man's deteriorating health. His strength faded, and soon he could no longer rise from his bed. Realizing that his end was near, he called for his elder son, Labongo. With a heavy heart, he handed over a sacred spear, a symbol of leadership passed down through generations. "This spear is more than a weapon," he told Labongo. "It represents our lineage, our strength, and the duty to lead." Labongo, brimming with pride, swore to protect his family and the clan with the spear. A few days later, the old man passed away, leaving Labongo to step into his new role as leader. With the weight of leadership on his shoulders, Labongo stepped up as the new head of the clan. The community thrived under his rule, thanks to the fertile land and the Nile, which never failed to provide water for their crops and livestock. Labongo, though authoritative, was prone to letting his emotions get the best of him. Fortunately, the tribe faced no major calamities during his early reign, and life was peaceful. Gipir, his younger brother, respected Labongo's position but quietly lived in his shadow, content with the life they had built. As the brothers grew older, both men married and had children. Life was harmonious, and the tribe continued to prosper. However, their peaceful existence was about to be tested. One fateful afternoon, while Labongo was away hunting, an elephant wandered into the clan's maize fields, causing chaos. The women and children screamed in terror as the massive animal trampled their crops. Hearing the commotion, Gipir ran out of his hut and without thinking grabbed the first spear he could find and hurled it at the elephant. The spear struck true, and the wounded animal fled into the forest. Gipir was hailed as a hero, but little did he know that this act would set off a chain of events that would change his life forever. When Labongo returned from hunting, he was greeted with tales of Gipir's bravery. The clan members praised how Gipir had single-handedly saved the crops from destruction. Although Labongo initially seemed pleased by the story, his joy quickly turned to anger when he realized the spear Gipir had used to fend off the elephant was no ordinary weapon. It was the royal spear, the one entrusted to him by their father. Labongo felt a deep sense of betrayal. This was the sacred spear, the one symbolizing his leadership and legacy, and it had been carelessly thrown at an elephant that had now run off into the wilderness with it. Furious, Labongo confronted Gipir, accusing him of recklessness and jealousy. "That spear was meant for my son," Labongo shouted, his voice trembling with rage. "You had no right to use it." Gipir, stunned by his brother's fury, tried to explain that he acted to save the clan's crops in a moment of urgency, unaware that the spear he had grabbed was the royal one. But Labongo was unmoved. "You must retrieve it," he demanded, his voice cold. "Without that spear, our clan's future is in jeopardy." Gipir stood in silence, realizing the gravity of the situation. He knew the dangers of the vast forest where the elephant had fled. To retrieve the spear meant risking his life, but he had no choice. Under Labongo's stern gaze and the weight of his brother's expectations, Gipir agreed to embark on the perilous journey, unsure if he would ever return. The morning Gipir left, the village gathered to bid him farewell. His wife and children clung to him, their eyes filled with fear and sorrow. Gipir embraced them, knowing he might not survive the journey. But Labongo had left him no choice without the spear. He could never return home with honor. With a heavy heart, Gipir turned and walked toward the dark, foreboding forest that stretched endlessly to the south. For days, Gipir wandered through the dense jungle, tracking the path of the wounded elephant. The forest was unforgiving, filled with dangerous predators like lions and leopards, and Gipir's nights were restless as he slept under the open sky, haunted by the sounds of the wild. He faced constant hunger, thirst, and exhaustion, yet he pressed on, driven by the need to retrieve the spear and regain his honor. Weeks turned into months, and Gipir's once strong body became gaunt and weak. His clothes were torn, and his skin was scarred from battles with the elements and encounters with wild animals. Every day he grew more hopeless, cursing his brother for sending him on this impossible quest. He wondered if he would ever see his family again. As the weight of despair settled on him, Gipir came close to giving up. Just when Gipir was on the verge of collapse, fate intervened in the most unexpected way. But was it a blessing or another cruel test? What he would face next would change his destiny forever. Would he ever make it home? Would Labongo's wrath still await him? Stay tuned for part 2's only just beginning.